What's going on, everybody? All right, now, I'm not a person who wants to go into hobby negativity. In fact, I want to be hobby positivity. I want to be a person that talks about all the good things, about all the great things, but there are some times that you can't just be positive all the time. There are times you just have to be real. There are times where things are happening and you just have to be honest. You know, there's that person that's always happy and always positive, and good for them. Good for them. But sometimes I'm like, can we just be real for a minute? You know, I don't want to get upset with my class. And in fact, to be honest with you, just this past week, I was trying to teach my students some stuff. I was teaching them some web design. I was teaching them some HTML coding. And I had like 3 kids with their phones out. And I'm like, guys, you're not going to be able to learn this if you're distracted by your phones. And so I kind of got on them. And it's not fun to do that. It's not fun to be negative. You just want to be positive. But we're stuck. In this hobby, we're stuck. We have a handful of major players that have a big say in what's happening in the hobby. You got Fanatics, who owns Topps, right? You've got Panini, who's struggling. You've got PSA. You've got SGC. I mean, those 4 brands, Topps, Panini, PSA, SGC, and 2 of those brands are owned by the same company, Collectors. They have so much control over the production between those 4 brands, between the production and the grading. And I know some people are going to say, this is why I don't grade. I know. I'm not even going to talk about PSA right now. I've got some issues with PSA right now. I've mentioned some of them. But let's just look at the manufacturers for a second. They had so much control. There's really 2, and Panini is not doing well. And, you know, Upper Deck used to make an awesome product. But now they're pretty much down to hockey, right? Leaf is you know, they're not a major player. So that leaves us with these companies. And the problem is there's not a lot that we can do right now. There's not a lot that we can do. If PSA does you wrong, I mean, and I'm not going to get on a big PSA rant right now. I'm just not. But like my dad sent in cards to PSA one time and they got the labels wrong. They put the flip for one card, 2 cards, and flipped them. They weren't with the right card. And he contacted him and said, I just want my money back. And they said, no. They said, no. What? Again, I'm not going to go down on the PSA thing. But I was on the Misfits podcast on a live stream on Wednesday. John Mangini asked me on. It's on with the great guys, right? And John was asking about some, you know, hobby, current events and stuff. And basically what I said was, if people are having negative experiences, if you're having negative experiences, what's going to happen is people are going to just get fed up. And if the negative experiences are with the manufacturers, they'll get fed up. If it's at card shows, they'll get fed up. If it's with eBay deals, they'll get fed up. If it's with grading, they'll get fed up. And every time somebody is left with a bad taste in their mouth, they're more likely to get out of the hobby. So I don't want to be negative, but our hands are completely tied. PSA can do whatever they want. And there's nothing we can do about it. There's really not. Topps and Panini can do whatever they want, and there's nothing we can really do about it. And my buddy Chris from Missouri, great guy. I mean, as great as they come. I love Chris. He did a video the other day and about PSA and how he was frustrated about PSA. And you know what he said? He said, don't just talk about it, do something about it. And then a couple days later, he and I talked on the phone for quite a while. We talked for like an hour. Again, love Chris. I could talk to Chris all day long. And I brought it up and I'm like, but Chris, I agree we should do something, but what can we do when one of the big companies does something? Like, the only thing that I can do is talk about it right here. Is talk about it. That's the only thing I can do. But then I'm being negative, and I don't want to be negative. So I'm not going to go out of my way to talk about things. But when things happen that need to be talked about, I also can't ignore it. So something happened. So let's go back all the way to COVID. Remember COVID? Remember the pandemic? Remember in 2020 and 2021 how hard it was to get cards? How you'd go to stores and everywhere was always sold out? Well, I don't open a ton of new product, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I like new product. I have awful luck with opening packs. So I literally buy stuff. It's fun for 45 seconds when I open it, and then I never get anything. Well, during COVID, winter, so I'm talking, this would be like December of 2021. I went into like a CVS to get, I don't know, a soda or might have been like a Christmas card or something for someone. And I looked down on the shelf and they had some packs of Contenders cards. And I'm like, there were Contenders like rookie basketball cards. And I was like, dude, they never have packs. I want to open a couple of packs. So I bought a couple of packs. And they were like $7 each, retail, per pack. So I spent like $15 for a couple of packs. And I'm like, I'm not going to hit anything, but it'll be fun. I like, it's fun to open stuff from time to time, scratch the itch, open one of the packs, and I'll be darned, I got a hit. I got a memorabilia card, a patch card of Jalen Suggs. Now, Jalen Suggs played for Gonzaga. He was like a top 10 pick. He was a really good player in college. He was kind of like a name guy because that year Gonzaga did really well. I don't remember if they ended up winning it, but they did really well. They were number one in the country for a while. He was one of their best players. And I was like, no way. I hit a memorabilia card. I don't know. It might be, literally, it might be the only memorabilia card I've ever hit. I think it is. I think it might be. So I get this card and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I look and it's got a massive dent on the front of the card. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I never buy packs. Nothing. You can't find packs anywhere right now. And I find a pack and I actually get something pretty good. I mean, this is a rookie card. It was like a green. So it was like, I don't know, out of 50 maybe. It was green. It was a rookie card of Jalen Suggs with a Gonzaga patch. And I'm like, and it's got a major dent. And I'm just like, what am I doing? Why did I even try? Right? For a brief second, I thought I got something. And then I saw a video on YouTube. And at this point, I hadn't even started my channel. I didn't even start my channel until a year later. October 2022, I started my channel. This is December of 2021. And I saw on YouTube somewhere, someone talking about how if a card is damaged, you can send it into the manufacturer and get it exchanged, get a replacement. And I'm like, well, I got nothing to lose. Because the way I work is if I keep the card, I'm mad. I'm mad because it's just a reminder every time I see it of how I have this dented card. And then I'm not making this up right now. Chris from Missouri is calling me. It's ringing right now. I'll call you right back, Chris. I promise. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't sell it because if I sell it, I want to disclose that it's dented. And if I disclose that it's dented, no one will want it. And if I keep it, I'm going to be pissed every time I look at it. So I'm like, I might as well just send it in because I got nothing to lose. So I sent it in, they have an app, you do a whole submission, I paid to mail it off. And guess what? For 6 months, they are not acknowledging that they received it. Again, I mailed this in December 2021. So I'm checking and I'm checking and I'm checking and it's not saying received. I start emailing them. We never got the card. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Finally, it shows up that they received the card. Now, this would have been like spring, early summer of 2022. They finally acknowledged that they received the card. And I waited and I waited and I waited and I never heard back. And I contacted them and they never responded. And I emailed them and they never responded. And I emailed them and they never responded. And I'm like, it's not even worth it. Jalen Suggs, he kind of sucks. Like, he's not, it's not even a valuable card, so I don't even care. Like, unbelievable. I did everything I was supposed to do. Well, guess what happened last week? I got a notification that Panini sent me a replacement card in February of 2025. Now, it was December of 2021. December of 2021 that I sent it in. And I'll put all this on the screen if I haven't already. February of 2025, they sent me a replacement. Now, I will admit, they sent me more back than I sent them. They sent me 2 cards, and one of the cards was Jalen Suggs, which I think he's still on a roster. And it's about an equivalent card, approximately an equivalent card to what I sent in. And then they sent me an additional card that would be a better card than the Jalen Suggs card. But I mean, total value of what they sent me back, maybe $15. I mean, I spent like $7 or $8 just to ship them the damaged card. And it had been so long that Jalen Suggs isn't even relevant in the league anymore. He went from like a well-known rookie with some potential upside when I sent the card in 2021 to now. So here's the deal. I don't want to be hobby negative. I want to be hobby positive. But if I don't share stories like this, if we don't talk about things like this, if we just have Panini take 3.5 years to send us our replacement cards, and I just, never mention it, I don't know what that accomplishes. So I promise, I want to focus on the positive. I want to focus on, the good things of the hobby, the friendships, the cards, the memories, the experiences, the breakthroughs. But when things happen, like PSA just changes their grading standards, among other things, and Panini sends you a replacement card in 2025 for a card that you sent them in 2021, I kind of feel like I want to do something. And guess what? What I want to do is talk about it. Because again, if we don't talk about it and we just accept it, then we're not doing anything to potentially fix it. So I just wanted to share. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to interact with the community. Midlife Nation, you guys, I mean, hey, enjoy your weekend. And by the way, tonight I will be on Jeremy Lee's podcast, Sports Card Live. And it starts late, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. I will be on Jeremy Live. I'm honored to be on his stream. And I want to talk about positive stuff, but I'm also going to try to do my best to share experiences when the big companies who have all the power do things that kind of disappoint, because that's the only thing that I can do about it.